Hello, everybody. It's Andrew Kahn, and I am happy to be with you here today. And I'm going to try to entertain you. My dad was a great entertainer with his guitar. I'm not as good as he is, but I'm going to do my best to keep it amusing and try not to go much. Try to reach 15 minutes, but not go much over, because we've got quite a lot of work to do, don't we? So I want to start off just by sharing something about a little song that is found the first verse of Psalm 133, how good and pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together, or we can say that it's, let's see, how good and how pleasing for brothers, for people to sit together in unity. Song and, somehow the heart comes through in song. And I think that maybe we could have a little self-care at the beginning of this video just by singing together, or you can just listen, or if you're in a real rush and you just don't have any time for this, you can fast forward it. Nice. Okay, but let's go ahead. Let me share a little song, and maybe we'll circle back and have another song with a different artist, but the same message at the end. And I hope it's okay that I'm taking these things from YouTube. I haven't really screened these artists or anything. I don't know much about them. I just found it on YouTube and it sounds good to me. That's all. Here we go. Let's share. We'll start off with this one.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה יאללה יאללה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה יאללה יאללה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Okay, that is good for the moment. Let's go ahead and talk about this social justice project. Lots of questions to answer. And the first one is, let's see, define your issue. How does it impact your clients? So a couple of issues that I'm grouping together. And first is a bigger issue that, it's hate, polarization, anti-Semitism, racism, fear, anger, violence. I'm not blind and I do read the paper. I have knowledge of what's happening in society. There is a lot of distrust and fear, a sense of us and them, right and wrong, oppressor and oppressed. I know in some people's minds that as a Jew, I'm lumped in as necessarily white. So I'm also an oppressor then. And in the same, in other circles, because of my race or religion, I'm seen as even worse because Israel has unfortunately widely come to be seen in this black and white way as the oppressor, and the Palestinians then are the oppressed. And if I feel an alliance and a love for the Jewish state, that many people with not so great knowledge of all of our history and all the facts, they may see me, then I must be a racist and an apartheid supporter. Of course, I don't see Israel that way. I understand what our history is, and we have had our turn at being the victim and the oppressed for sure. And we would prefer not to return to that in the ways that we have recently been. So we're trying as hard as we can to protect our lives and the little land that we have. But I can see how some people might hate me just because of who I am. What can I do? Ay vey. Maybe we all need to take a deep breath, because there is a much better way to make progress toward legitimate human rights and peace. And the approach that I'm going to use is well used by many people. It's called love, caring, kindness, and honest, well-meaning dialogue. And this is, I think, best done from a position of strength, especially if you're a Jewish person. That's what my understanding of history tells me. So let's continue with these questions. How did I become aware? Well, there's another issue that I became aware of. My good wife told me that she's been speaking to some young single Hispanic women who have little children, or sometimes not so little children, and they're really having a hard go of it. And they could use some support. And who's going to support them? So, the JCC has a lot to offer, food and other emotional support, therapy. So what can we do to reach out to these people? That's the one of my questions. So the way I assess the issue is, I spoke more to my wife about where these women live and what their situation is. I also spoke to my supervisor, and I visited our food pantry, where we have a wonderful social worker who's also Hispanic and of course speaks Spanish. And she said she would be happy to if I can get the names and numbers of these women, I shall call them and tell them what we have to offer from our food pantry. But even more than that, she is happy to take on some Hispanic, form a group, Spanish speaking women, and talk about college education and maybe the other needs that they have. So that's kind of in the works, something that I saw that with the help of my wife and discussed, and we have the resources to do something positive. So who did I involve? Yeah, just so far my supervisor and this social worker and my wife. But we're going to get some numbers, and we're either going to have the social worker reach out from the food pantry, or we're going to have the young women call our pantry and ask for the social worker. So let's get making a connection. And so there are that's just one of the things that we're going to do to change the situation. But as far as that larger situation of kind of us and them, right and wrong, black and white, we have as you can see in my my shirt here, it's a nice logo. So we have had some work done on a community coalition, but it's been a little bit needs new energy and some time given to it. So I think I'm going to step in and play a role in helping. And that's very exciting, because as we talk to other communities, African American, Asian, Latino, and on, we'll learn about their needs, and we can see how we can help meet their needs. And I think that is one of the great ways to create really goodwill and cooperation, which is what this world really needs. We're not going to get where we need to go through hate and demonization and delegitimization and double standards. That's not really going to get there. That's going to lead to more hate and violence. So there is a strategy, and it's called kindness, basically. I think the motive is right. And the next question is about the heights. And, I'm not going to add anything to the heights, but I will say that there was one entity in the heights that was kind of exciting, and it might be nice. It was called the Highlands Center for Diversity and Inclusion. Highlands Center for Diversity and Inclusion, the HCDI, seeks to bridge the gap of diversity and inclusion through the lenses of racial and social justice. The organization advocates for those impacted by systemic oppression and works to amplify the voices of those who experience structural and institutional racism and resulting inequities. Anyway, we're going to try to listen to these voices and see how we can help. And so that's exciting, and I'm happy to be playing a role. And one of my other roles at the JCC is going to be reaching out to elderly who have fallen through the cracks. There's a new initiative called Isolation to Connection. And I'm going to be a kind of a point person, collecting names and seeing what these elderly folks' issues are and what we have to offer them, or where, what entitlements, they may have, and make sure they're or try to help them get what they need. So, and I think doing that for different groups, it certainly in the Jewish and the Orthodox community, but going beyond and reaching out, that's going to kind of help the larger issue of just goodwill and kindness. We want to know that we have friends that will, help and be there for us in our moment of need, and stand strong for tolerance and love and cooperation. When historically, as a Jew, I know my people have many times seen anger. First comes words, and then the anger that comes with them, and then rage and violence. And it's just happened so many times that it's kind of predictable. And what's one of the things that's needed, in addition to strength to defend oneself, is good friends, good people that stand for love and kindness and peace. And so hopefully we will help create that goodwill and friendship. So I'd like to end with a song. It's still Hine Ma Tovu Manayim, which is very inspiring, but it's a different artist. Take a listen if you like. Here goes. Behold how beautiful it is for brethren to dwell together in peace. Well, fellow social workers, it's very exciting. We're all on the same team. Let's work together in our different places and communities, and let's circle back and be together in harmony and peace and love, and may these things prevail. I know this is what social work really stands for, not hate, violence, and anger, and the motive to destroy, but no, the motive to build up, and that all people have a place here and have a place where they can be safe and secure. And that's my social justice project. I look forward to listening to yours and seeing yours too. Thank you.